Hi guys, so today we're going to continue looking at microorganisms by looking at viruses. Most viruses are actually very much smaller than bacteria. We say that viruses are so small that they can only be seen with an electron microscope. Viruses, if you didn't know, are actually considered to be not living organisms. So why are viruses not living organisms? Some scientists say that they do not classify a virus as a living organism because they do not perform two functions. That is, they do not eat, as in they do not need any nutrition, as well as they do not excrete. And this is why viruses are not considered as living organisms. Now that we know that viruses are not living organisms, we still do have to look at what is the structure of a virus. While there are many different types of viruses and they may vary in their shape and their structure, right? They tend to have a common structure in that in a virus, it's going to have a protein coat on the outside. And that protein coat is referred to as a capsid. And that capsid is said to be made of something called capsomeres. Within a virus, we are going to find some sort of genetic material, and that genetic material can be either DNA or RNA. If you do not know what DNA or RNA means, you can do an internet search. It should give you the results that DNA stands for deoxyribonucleic acid and RNA stands for ribonucleic acid. I just need you to know that within a virus, you're going to find genetic material, which is either a strand of DNA or RNA, and the outside or the coating of a virus is referred to as a protein coat, which is called a capsid, which is made up of capsomeres. In looking at the structure of a virus, we can see that many parts of what you would find in a living cell are not present in a virus, and we are going to refer to as a virus, as a particle. So what can we not find within a virus particle? We will not find, or viruses do not contain a nucleus, they do not contain cytoplasm, they do not contain cell organelles or a cell membrane. Based on this information, we can definitely say that viruses are not cells. Now that we have looked at the structure of a virus, I'm going to refer you to your handout. You are going to look at figure 5, page 301, and I need you to know how to draw and annotate a virus particle. That is, with your drawing in pencil, you should be able to label the capsid, the capsomere, and the genetic material, which is the RNA or DNA strand. Having looked at the structure of a virus, we need to look at how do these viruses multiply? That is, how do they reproduce? In order to reproduce or multiply, a virus infects a host cell by attaching to the cell membrane of the host cell, as we see here, which is the approach of the virus. The virus then injects that cell, the host cell, with its DNA or RNA, as you're going to see in this animation here. Now, what is the function of this DNA or RNA strand in the host cell? The virus's DNA or RNA will then take over the cell and force the cell to make copies of the virus particle. Eventually, what will happen is the cell will burst open and the new virus particles will then escape the host cell to infect other cells, as you see over here. And these are the four simple steps by which a virus will reproduce or multiply. Once again, let's take a look at these steps by which viruses multiply. A virus particle will attach to the cell membrane of a host cell. The virus particle will then inject its genetic material, that is, its RNA or DNA strand. The RNA or DNA strand will take over the cell and force the cell to make copies of new virus particles. And we see the virus particles in different parts assembling. Right? These are the new virus particles. Eventually, the cell bursts and the new virus particles, which are here, are going to escape to infect other cells. Now that we have seen how easy it is for a virus to multiply, can you name any diseases which are caused by viruses? Right, so on my slide I have one, which is influenza, also commonly referred to as the flu. On this slide, I am going to show you the names of other types of diseases which are caused by viruses. For example, we have AIDS, which is caused by HIV, and there are a few others here as well. Measles, chickenpox, common cold, flu, herpes, rubella, mumps, polio, and there's one more referred to as TMV, which is the tobacco mosaic virus, which affects plants.